As we prepare for the Feast of Pentecost, we're praying for the virtues and the gifts of the Holy Spirit. You probably memorized the 7 virtues and the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit when you were preparing for confirmation. But I want to talk about why there are 7 virtues and what they do to our soul. The first 4 virtues we'll talk about today are prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. These are called the cardinal virtues or the natural virtues sometimes as well because they perfect us as human. But they're not just a randomly chosen number being 4. It has to do with how we're made up as human. Well, part of that is having an intellect. Part of that's having a will. And part of that is having emotions and passions as well. And the 4 virtues, prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance, perfect all of these. Prudence perfects the mind so that we can discern the best course of action to take. And so someone might have a lot of colleges to choose from and wants to choose the best college. Or you might look at a menu and see lots of different things you could have for dinner and you choose the one you want, or a lot of cars you can choose from and you choose the best one, or what you want to do with your life. So some of these are really big things, some of them are really small things, but prudence discerns which is right. Justice perfects the will. Justice is the virtue by which we give each his due. And so that means that we have a lot of types of justice in a lot of different circumstances. We owe things to God because he created us, and we owe our life and our salvation to him, and so we owe him worship. And so there's a justice towards God. There's a justice towards our parents because they gave us life, and so we owe honor to them, and we owe obedience to them when we're young. We owe things to the state and justice as well. It provides things for us. We owe certain things to the government as well. And even in normal interactions, I'm going to take something from a store. In justice, I pay for that thing that I take from the store. And then we call that buying it. We call that a just transaction. So justice perfects the will. And when it comes to the emotions, there's a couple different kinds of them. Some of them are for just a thing just as it is. So I have a candy bar. And I love a candy bar. Not love in the way like a husband loves a wife, but just I'm attracted to the candy bar. It's a good thing that I desire. Right? So if it's not with me, then I desire the candy bar. And when I have it and I eat it, I get to have joy. If it's something I don't like anchovies, then I hate the anchovies. And if it's not near me, then I avoid the anchovies. And if I'm forced to eat anchovies, I'm in sadness. Okay, so we have passions, the simple passions there. And temperance is the virtue which governs those. And when we think about temperance, a lot of times we think about it towards food, think about it towards alcohol, so sobriety, and we also think about it in terms of chastity as well, and any other area that we need that virtue, but it's perfecting those kind of passions. But there's another set of passions as well, and that's when something is hard to achieve. We might jokingly talk about maybe that candy bar is in the cabinet and I'm sitting on the couch and it's so comfortable and I desire that candy bar, but I also don't want to get up from that couch and walk all the way across the room and open the cabinet and get that candy bar from there. And so that would be a hard good to get. And it's funny as that might sound, there are things which are difficult to do to get something that's good. So if you're really thirsty and you're in the middle of a desert and you see an oasis a mile away, it's going to be tough to get there, but you're going to do that hard thing in order to get to that water because your thirst is driving you through that hard thing. And so we have passions which are dealing with harder things. And so we might have courage when we're going to persevere through a harder thing. We might have despair if we don't want to, if we don't think we're going to make it through it. We may be angry if something difficult is presented and we can't get rid of it. And so we have a whole set of passions dealing with those harder things. Fortitude is the virtue that we have for that. Fortitude helps us to be patient when we're dealing with annoying people, or we're dealing with ourselves, because we can get really annoyed with ourselves. Fortitude helps us to deal with for fears of things that can actually happen, but we know we need to push through. Fortitude helps us to persevere in the spiritual life when things are difficult, when prayer is dry. Fortitude helps us in a lot of different ways too. So prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. They're the four virtues have to do with being human because they perfect our mind, they perfect our will, they perfect the different types of passions that we have as being human as well. So as you pray for the Holy Spirit, pray for an increase in these virtues. I encourage you to pick an area of your life where you could grow in these virtues as well, and pray for the Holy Spirit, especially to come there. God bless you all.
Subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss out on any more reflections, answers to your questions, and all the other great content that's going to be put up. God bless.